This is KBCI.blogspot.com, George Boston Rhines, YouTube Boston G.B.R. on my way to Quitman, Georgia, where I have been informed that Michael F. Bryant will be in court on behalf of, I guess, the love for his wife and the guests he had riding with him after they had a Sunday lunch at Rose's Cafe over in Quitman, when Mr. Green came out and supposedly held them captive with the firearm and was arrested. I understand that this case will be starting up this morning. I have been looking for news coverage on local television and radio, but I have been sadly mistaken. I have been disappointed because, in my humble opinion, the people of South Georgia knows little to nothing about this particular case. It took 16 days for the case to even be published, 14 to 16 days before the incident even was reported to the general public here in South Georgia. To me, it only highlights what I've been complaining about for at least 2 to 3 decades, that there's apparently a pattern and practice of keeping the citizens in Valdosta and Brooks County and South Georgia in general ignorant. And I believe that it is time that bloggers and YouTubers and etc. And progressive news media outlets try to keep the public informed. I don't believe that we should be kept in the state of ignorance. So that's where I'm heading this morning. And so we're going to listen a little bit to a state senator that I interviewed back in the day. And when he came to town, along with many others, if you go to Boston G.B.R, you'll find that there is so much publicity, so much newsworthy information that were ignored and omitted from the news surrounding the support that the Quitman 10 received concerning the alleged absentee voter fraud. So we're going to play a state senator a little bit where I'm still in front of the courthouse. What's your name, my beautiful brother?
Robert Brown.
My name is George Rams. I'm here on the Brooks County Courthouse, and here again, why are you here today? And tell me a little bit about what you do and what you can do to maybe help the people in this area, if anything.
I'm a state senator,
right?
But I'm also the servant leader of the October 16th movement, which is a broad-based movement of elected officials, community activists that is in its infancy in Georgia. But our intent is to build a broad-based movement that will address issues that have to do with the justice system, the education system, making sure that our people are treated fairly throughout this state. We're particularly interested in the rural part of Georgia. We have a special project called...
Senator Brown also highlighted this in Macon, Georgia, when we traveled up there. We also sat down with Senator Brown up in the state capitol, as well as another location that we went to, all on behalf of the Quitman 10, and what many feel is an unjust set of charges that are being brought against them for political reasons. However, as I enter the Quitman city limits here, we're going to continue to listen to Senator Brown.
Mississippi, Georgia project that we're going out this summer. We're going to document injustices, we're going to document discrepancies, and we're going to use that as an organizing tool in the fall, in the winter, in the spring to motivate students to try and get them to get involved with the next phase of the project, which will be a massive voter registration drive to get people registered and mobilized in November 2012, because we believe that if we do that, we can take Georgia for President Barack Obama.
Yes, sir. We
will give him the additional electoral college votes that he will need to win the presidency for the second time.
So you're telling me that you're going to support Barack Obama again, although all this criticism being hyped up about him, you still want to support him?
President Barack Obama is not Jesus. President Barack Obama is the President of the United States. In the short term that he's been in the presidency, he's done more for America than 20 presidents before him. So yes, I'm going to support President Barack Obama again.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
We're now having Gladys Turner Lee, and she is a former educator of Brooks County.
I'm not going over Miss Lee, Gladys Lee. You over in Brooks County here. What did you do? What was your profession?
I am a retired educator.
And this particular educator, she has supported the Quitman 10 from the beginning to the present. She has traveled to Atlanta, Macon, Savannah, and all around in support of the Quitman 10 because she believes that they are innocent and that they have done nothing wrong. This is Gladys Turner Lee.
Science at Brooks County High School for 43 years.
What's going on here today from through your eyes?
What we have are people who are like-minded, who have come to Brooks County. Senator Robert Brown, Representative Tyrone Brooks, Representative David Lucas have come to say that we support the cause of the Quitman 10 because they fully understand that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That's not a catchphrase. That's a fact of life. We have a problem with voter suppression, and that's the root and the genesis of this issue. Voter suppression that says to people that if we intimidate you enough, you will not exercise your freedom.
Okay, now did you hear what I heard when I walked the streets, that there was a G.B.R. agent in a white truck, and they say that they really scared people away from the polls. Did you hear anything about that?
I heard inklings of that, and that disturbed me beyond measure because your vote is very personal. Nobody can intimidate you and threaten you and suppress your right to vote as an American citizen.
For radio friends and blog listeners, you've heard it. That's from an activist in the community of Brooks County. Thank you very much.
And that was Gladys Lee, and that been a good while ago, and she was interviewed here in Quitman. We're in our inner city of Quitman, and she was also at a rally in March over here, and I'm almost positive that none of her words were recorded nor published on television here in South Georgia, but I have listed them on YouTube because apparently that's where we have to get this type of news out. She stood with the Quitman 10 and she continues to stand with the Quitman 10, but that's not why we're over here today. I am over here today because of the Michael F. Bryant, Congressional aide worker and staffer of the Congressman out of the Sanford Bishop office in Thomasville, Georgia. And I'm disappointed in the South Georgia News Media Network in its distribution of information concerning this particular case that is in the state of Georgia. And CNN, MSNBC, there was a gun used in this situation. And so we will report back to you. But I do want you all to know that this case is taking place. I do not intend for this case to be swept under the rug, nor do I want the Quitman 10 case to be swept under the rug. I want to do everything I can to let people know what's going on in this South Georgia area. Because as I have said so frequently, it seems like there is a pattern and a practice to keep the people here in South Georgia, in the United States of America, in the land of the free and the home of the brave, ignorant. We talk about freedom of the press, we talk about freedom of speech, but when it comes down to actually doing and implementing what we talk about, too often, in my most humble opinion, we are gravely, and in some cases severely disappointed. And so that's my belief. We're driving around the Brooks County Courthouse, and we will be going in because we want to record. We want you to know the truth, regardless of what others may say or do. I want you informed, completely informed, because nobody can act intelligent or be intelligent unless they have information, and that's what we want, is nothing more than the real truth of the matter. This is kvci.blogspot.com, and we do see a lot of vehicles up here, so there's a great possibility that people have a great interest in this particular case. This is kvci.blogspot.com. George Boston Ryan. Turn the camera off, but my mind, my pen, my paper will still be moving. Bye-bye, we gone.